Very much. We are going to start now. We do have, again, people outside. It is being simulcast out into the cafeteria as well, so hopefully they can hear and see what's going on in here. Thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate all of you being here. We are so very proud of our athletic program, not only how they perform on the fields and on the courts, but probably more importantly, the sportsmanship that they show every single contest that they're in. So, and that's a huge credit to our student athletes, but also a huge credit to our parents, because you are their initial role model. So thank you very much for all you do for the success of our program. Tonight we hope to provide you with some valuable information. We're going to have a couple speakers. We're going to provide you with information in terms of our boosters program, who give a lot back to our student athletes and to the school. We have a representative from Signature Healthcare and Brockton Hospital. We have a new partnership this year through our athletic trainer, which we're very excited about, which gives a lot of different opportunities, again, for our student athletes. We're going to talk about West Bridgewater procedures, policies, and the MIA policies. And finally, at the end of the evening, you're going to get a chance to meet with the fall coaches. That's I think a great chance for you to sit down with them. It's just going to be our parents and guardians. It won't be the students, and just hear from the coaches what their expectations are for the year. This year, we're very excited to have a new athletic director. She's actually athletic director and activities director, Jennifer Hamill, who comes to us with some great experiences. She graduated from UConn, where she played field hockey, where she was a regional All-American. She's coached a variety of sports at a variety of different levels, most recently working at Silver Lake in their athletic department. She started in July, and I got to tell you, from day one, she was an absolute wildcat, looking forward to working with all the student athletes and the parents. So it's my pleasure to introduce our new athletic director, Jen Hamill.
Well, I'd like to start out with, first of all, saying thank you. I am so pumped and excited to be part of the WB family and the WB community, and everyone has welcomed me with open arms, and I could not be more thankful for that. Thank you so much. Your kids are so awesome, and they come into my office and always have a smile on their face, asking me how I'm doing. So thank you so much. And again, that is a tribute to you. It is just such a pleasure to be part of WB and to be a Wildcat. So I have the pleasure to introduce the president of our boosters, Nicole Shea. And boosters provide so much for our athletics, for our school, and they give back so much. So it is awesome that I've been getting to know her, and I look forward to working with boosters. And let's go Wildcats. We got this. Nicole Shea.
So good evening, everyone, and thanks to Mr. Bodwell and Ms. Hamill just for giving me a few minutes to tell you guys a little about who we are and what we do. I realize that some of you have been through this a few times, so bear with me, but I know we do have a lot of 7th grade athletes in here. So I figured rather than just chat this year, I would kind of just show you a little bit about some of the fun that we've been having this year, because it has been a really eventful year for us. It's been great. So but to start with, for those of you that don't know, we are a parent-run volunteer organization that supports all student athletes grades 7 through 12 here at the high school by funding the needs for the athletic program that aren't covered by the town budget. So how do we do that? We fundraise in all sorts of different ways. Our newest fundraiser this year is a car wash, and last year was, I think, the first year that we had it. So this year, it's going to be September 15th from 10 to 2. It's being held right down the street at Town Hall. We'll actually have a sign-up sheet in the office for you parents that don't realize your kids can get involved, too. We love to have the kids involved. That's one of our main aims, is to have the kids involved. So you can sign up to take a shift. Last year, the kids had so much fun. I think they signed up for 1-hour shifts, but I'm pretty certain that most of the kids stayed the entire day just because they had a really good time, which is great. So we also have The duck race at Park Day, this has been going on, I think, for like 25 years. I don't know how many breaks it's taken. Unfortunately, this year, because they're still doing some work to the river, although it looks fabulous, we won't be able to do this event this year, but it's just one of those things that everybody in town looks forward to. It's not just something even within the school community. You know, when we're not there, people are asking, like, are we running the ducks this year? So it's a community event, which is an awesome way for the community to support the athletes here. So then there's our annual golf classic, held in May of each year. This past year was our first year over at Riverbend, and it was a great time with lots of laughs and some great raffle prizes thanks to families and some businesses in town. Then we have the Snack Shack at our beautiful new all-purpose field. I don't think that many people realize that all of the profits made from the Snack Shack go right directly back to the athletes. So think about that. Grab 2 hot dogs or something next time. So last but not least for our fundraisers, bingo at St. Anne's happens year-round. It's every Thursday, and I'll get back to more about bingo in a minute. But now that you kind of know what we do, I want you to know why we do it. It's certainly not for us. It's to help the program grow, to make sure that the athletes have everything they need to be safe and successful. Nothing is better than looking at the pictures of the kids and seeing the friendships that are built and the time and dedication that a lot of these athletes, put into their sports. The other reason for raising funds is a little bit more tangible and a little less sappy. Do things like our athletic awards. And I feel like, if you have a varsity athlete, you've attended. If you haven't, it's coming. So, we have to raise enough funds, for this every year. For Letterman jackets, you guys see kids walking around here with Letterman jackets. They've been the same jackets for, something like 40 years or something. They haven't changed. So if this is your second generation of kids, the jacket has not changed. It's the same one you might have at home in your closet. And the plaques, jackets and plaques are covered totally by us. And honestly, the cost of just the athletic awards nights for jackets, plaques, and everything that comes along with it is $15,000 a year. So it's a lot of money. It's not a drop in the bucket. In a lot of towns, they have to pay for the Letterman jackets or, and here they're a gift. So another reason that we keep, that we fundraise is to keep user fees low. We are extremely lucky in this town to have a $100 user fee. And that's whether you play 1 sport or 3 sports. And I would just kind of challenge anybody to ask around in the Tri-Town area, how much other towns pay for user fees, and it's usually per sport. So we're very lucky here for that. And just out of curiosity, for all the student athletes in the room, there's got to be a bunch of them in here. How many of you play more than 1 sport? Raise your hand. Yes, it's a lot of kids. So people are able to take advantage of that. That's awesome. I've come to kind of realize over the past few years of being involved with boosters that many of the things I thought that were taken care of by the school are in fact gifts from the boosters. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to share with you all some of the things aside from plaques and jackets that we have funded recently. And you can kind of, look down the list really quickly. And as you can see from the top, over the past just 6 years, we've spent over $150,000. And that's probably a lowball estimate. So it's a lot of money. Another thing is we're really lucky right now to have like a really great group of parents that contribute in a lot of different ways. Some attend our monthly meetings, some can't attend meetings, but help out with certain fundraisers of the year that fit into their busy schedule. That said, many of us who are involved right now have kids that are leaving. They're juniors and seniors. So we're really, just kind of hoping that we can see the new generation of volunteers, into the boosters and get them involved to learn the ropes before it's time for us to move on. It would be great if there was a nice, smooth transition. So we're really looking this year to have some people come alongside us. Another important point that I want to touch on, because I'm not sure if parents realize this, I know that I didn't, is that 80% of our funding comes from weekly bingo over at St. Anne's, right down the street. And it's just pretty much thanks to an amazing deal that Coach Panos actually brokered. I asked him, fact-checked before I came in here, that it was in the early 90s. that 40% of all funds raised at bingo go directly to the athletic boosters. So we're talking tens of thousands of dollars a year. It's usually about $30,000 a year we get from bingo directly. So I'm sure you're all just so enthralled right now wondering, like, what can you possibly do to help, right? Sure. It's perfect. So funny you guys should ask about that. You can come to our monthly meetings. It's super simple. It's an hour. I try to get everybody out by their 8 o'clock show. I know you guys take that very seriously. Our next meeting is next week, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. We just meet right in the teacher's room, right when you walk in, on the right-hand side there. You can sign up for our emails so you can stay informed of the little and big things that you can do to help. You know, not everybody needs to come to every meeting or, you know, volunteer for everything we do. If you can just participate in some way, that would be great. Also follow us on Facebook. It's a great way to keep up with what's happening. You can also buy one of our new Wildcat Athletic t-shirts outside. All that money just goes right directly back to the kids. And there's also a clipboard out there. So if you want to sign up for our email, you know, it doesn't mean you have to do anything. We just want to be informed about what's going on. You know, maybe you have a little bit of time, you know, when you get the email that you can donate. That would be great. There's a sign-up sheet right outside the door there. So last but not least, volunteering, obviously, you know, is a huge part. You know, bingo, like I said, is our most important fundraiser for obvious reasons. It's because it brings in a lot of money. And at this point, we're kind of at a crossroads a little bit with bingo, that if we don't have more parent participation, we're no longer going to have those tens of thousands of dollars. So, you know, and it obviously goes right back to the kids. So I would really love to see that program continue. And without bingo's funding, I can assure all of you that user fees will rise. And, you know, the varsity jackets won't be gifts. You know, a lot will change. So I'd really just love it. You know, if anybody could even volunteer, you know, twice a year, 3 times a year, 4 times a year. You think it doesn't make a difference, but it really does. Even Mr. Page and Mr. Botwell, as you can see, volunteered for, if they can make the time, I feel like everybody can probably make the time. Yeah, right? Mr. Bodwell even donned the Keno thing, so it was pretty good. They were very good sports, and it really wasn't that bad, was it?
It was a lot of fun, and I only got yelled at
once or twice. So see, it's not that bad. Yeah. So, you know, whatever you can do, it really does add up. If everybody just volunteered once a year, we could keep bingo going for years just for one parent for every kid. You know, we have like 500 athletes in this school system. It's a lot of kids for a small town. So, you know, just thinking and talking about this over the past week made me think about how many of us would get up at the crack of dawn to line the YEA fields, right, when our kids were little, you know, without thinking twice about it, or hop into the snack bar when we were threatened that, you know, they wouldn't start the game if we didn't have somebody in the snack bar. You know, the game wouldn't be played. We all remember that. You know, we all wanted at that point to help build like this solid foundation for the kids, and, you know, way back when or whatever, but I feel like this isn't much different. You know, all the time and effort our parent volunteers put in helps us continue to build the program that we have up here, and, you know, hopefully helps our athletes, you know, become more successful both on and off the field. So, you know, I know maybe we're all a little tired from the time that we put into the YA, but take a deep breath. You know, you can do a lot less here and have a pretty big effect. So, so whether you donate buckets and sponges to our car wash in a couple weeks, play in or donate a raffle item for our golf classic, help scoop ducks out of the town river when we do have the duck race again, or donate, you know, 8 hours a year to keep bingo alive will make a huge difference. Just please know that all of those things, whether big or small, will make a huge difference. So thanks for your time.
So we were hoping Dr. McCormick would be able to make it tonight, but unfortunately he couldn't. But we have our awesome trainer, Audra Robbins, who is a wealth of knowledge and has been keeping your kids healthy and safe and on the fields. I'm here to introduce Audra Robbins, our athletic trainer.
Hi, everybody. I'm Audra Robbins. I'm the new athletic trainer here at West Bridgewater. I went to the University of New England up in Biddeford, Maine. I graduated in 2017. I worked in Rhode Island last year, and now I'm here. So Dr. McCormick is one of the headlining doctors at Signature Healthcare Orthopedics that I work alongside with. This is his office phone, and our location is at 110 Liberty Street in Brockton, Massachusetts. So the great thing about the program that I'm working with through Signature Healthcare is that we have the ability to get all of the athletes in either the same day or the next day for an appointment, whether it's for a concussion or for an injury of any type. So that's just one of the big selling points that I find very important, because sometimes when you go to your pediatrician, it takes a week to get in there, and then they say, okay, I'm going to refer you to orthopedics, and then it takes another 2 or 3 weeks to get into their schedule. So this kind of bypasses all of that. It's completely voluntary. You don't have to go through Signature, but it's just a way to keep our athletes healthy and on a timely schedule to get back as soon as possible. And I work in the orthopedic clinic in the morning, so I'm there and I get to see these athletes, talk to the doctors, and get a one-on-one interaction. So it keeps everything in a loop. So that's Dr. McCormick. And then, so my email, I have a Signature Healthcare email, but I also have a West Bridgewater email, which is arobbins@wbridgewater.com. It's not on there. This is my phone number with my extension. When you call this phone number, it's going to go straight to a voicemail, but I get notification that I was called, and I will respond as soon as possible. My athletic training room is in the hallway behind the gym. It's next to the locker rooms, right next to the exit door. It's an open door, so anytime you have an injury, I'll get there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Come see me before practice, and we will take care of it. Anything and everything that's bothering you, whether you have a headache, you don't feel well, you hurt your ankle, your muscles don't feel right, anything that you have going on, I can usually give you an answer or help you figure it out. My Twitter account is there. This is the best way to know where I'm going to be and when I'm going to be here. I update it every day as to what time I'm going to get to school and what time I'll be leaving. I also am going to start letting people know what games I'm at during each day. So when to see me, like I said, injuries. If they happen in gym class, if they happen on the football field, on turf, on the soccer field, golf, anything that is starting to cause you pain, come see me so that we can get on top of it as soon as possible. Medical conditions like diabetes, asthma, I need to know about these things so that if there's an emergency on the field, I have the ability to treat you effectively. Any medications that you're taking, you can come see me, ask me questions, give me a heads up if there's any contraindications that I need to know about, and other medical concerns, as well as any support. If you want to come and talk to me about something that's going on, I am here to listen. Concussions is a big thing. We'll get into it in just a minute. Communication. So if you sustain an injury, it is imperative that you let your coach know and me know immediately. Whether you get hit in the head, whether you roll your ankle, if you don't feel that you can participate at your best and you're in pain, you need to let us know and let all of us know so that there's no miscommunication and the coach isn't questioning you as to why you're not practicing because you only told me and didn't tell your coach. And then another big thing is taking care of yourself as an athlete. So everybody who's an athlete is not just a regular person who needs to eat a certain amount of calories, drink a certain amount of water. You are putting yourself through a stress every single day that you work out and exercise. So that is why it's so important to stay hydrated with water throughout the day, not just when you start practicing, especially when it's hot out. And then nutrition. Junk food is a staple. We all know that, especially for high school athletes and students. But eating healthy proteins and carbs, vegetables and fruit, staying away from sodas and stuff like that. Not to say that you can't eat it, but you're not fueling your body to perform and be its healthiest version when you're an athlete. This is mostly to take care of yourself so that you don't run into injuries and you don't run into health complications when you're exercising. All right, concussions, the big topic. So a concussion, if you don't know, is a type of traumatic brain injury caused by a bump, a blow, or a jolt to the head, or a hit to the body. You don't even have to be hit in the head. That causes the brain to move inside. A lot of people think that a helmet is what's going to prevent a concussion, but your helmet's not holding your brain in place. Your brain floats inside your head and jostles around with every movement that you do. So the more traumatic that the force is, the more your brain is going to bounce off the sides of your skull. This causes chemical changes along with damaging pathways and structures with the brain cells. So helmets are not a protection against concussions. That is a misnomer. So then, signs and symptoms of a concussion. If you sustain a head injury, or you hit your head on the ground, or you get pushed or something where you feel like you start to get a headache, you need to pay attention to that. So headache, pressure in the head, any neck pain, nausea or vomiting, dizziness, blurry vision, balance problems, sensitivity to the light or noise, difficulty concentrating, having trouble remembering, and other academic issues are signs and symptoms of a concussion. So, with a concussion, you always report it. Never hide a concussion. It's not in your best interest, and it's not in the team's best interest. Tough it out mentality doesn't go anywhere with any injury, but especially concussions, because the more you put yourself through stress and the more times you put yourself at risk for getting hit in the head again, puts you at a greater risk for a second concussion, which leads to second impact syndrome, which can lead to month to year to decade-long complications. So tackling with the heads up, not down. You learn this in football practice, I hope. Other sports shouldn't be tackling, I hope, besides soccer, but not with the head. Be educated about the dangers, like I'm going through right now. Concussions are extremely serious. We didn't know a lot about them 20 years ago, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, but we're getting more and more knowledge. So it's important to pay attention and stay up to date. It's just something that it affects your brain in a way that you can have complications where you don't have good memory, you don't have full functioning capabilities of your brain, so you suffer for the rest of your life if you don't tell somebody and you get a second impact syndrome. It's just it can get to the extremes as if you are not proactive about it. That's why always reporting it the moment that it happens is the most important. Tell the coach first if they're there. Tell me if I'm there. Come back and see me and tell me if I'm not at the field. Tell the athletic director. Tell your parents. Or tell a teammate, even if it's not you, if you notice somebody on your team is not normal, if they are holding their head, if they're not paying attention, if they keep dazing off, pay attention, let the coach know. It doesn't hurt to tell somebody. It's going to help somebody in the long run. And it's, like I said, it's better to miss one game or a week of practice than it is to miss an entire season or an entire year of sports. And then concussion rules. So Massachusetts has a law on concussions. The law is listed down below. It is a long document with a lot of information. So I pulled 3 points out that are extremely important for everybody to know. So if you sustain an injury, any headache, any symptoms that you're experiencing, you must be pulled from the game or practice immediately and cannot return that day, no matter how your symptoms progress or go away. That's just Massachusetts rule. Medical clearance form. So once you sustain a concussion, you need to go to your physician and get a department post-sports related head injury medical clearance and authorization form. All of your doctor's offices in Massachusetts should have this form or something like it to give to us to clear you completely. Without it, you're not going to be able to play or practice. It's just how Massachusetts does it. And then once you come back and get cleared from the doctor, you must complete a return to play protocol, which can last around 5 to 7 days, depending on how well it goes. And it starts off by gradual increase in activity, getting all the way up to full contact practice. And so if you have any questions, please feel free to come find me, reach out to me. I'm always available after school. I'll be here for every practice and game. And good luck, everybody, on the upcoming season. And I hope I don't see a lot of you, because that means that you're staying healthy.
Well, thank you so much. I know it's kind of getting to be a long night, so I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as I can. But I do want to note that the PowerPoint will be available on our website, you guys, so you will be able to refer back to it. It is a lot of information, and we do realize that, but we are here to help. So it will be readily available with the numbers, any information, or questions that you have. So I'm just going to talk about a couple, 5, 8 things. Just kidding. First I want to talk about our coaches. So it has been such a pleasure getting to know everybody. I've been starting to get to know the fall coaches, and I am so lucky. They are so knowledgeable and do such a great job out there. We are just so lucky to have them. And if you have any questions, obviously, please reach out to them. They are awesome. And then as I go through, I wanted to direct everyone, we have our student athletic code, and I just wanted to make everyone aware that it is on our athletic website. And again, this is another place to go, and it has a ton of information or questions that you might have. They could be answered through this document. And when you go on to the athletic website, because I'm learning too, if you go to the athletic page, and I believe you click on menu, it'll drop down, that will come down, and that handbook is over to the left. So again, it's just a great place to go, a great resource to have, and it covers some of the topics that are listed here, again, just in case you have questions. And I just want to talk a little bit about communication and when things come up, which they do, which we totally understand. And just talking about that communication and that resolution process and maybe what that looks like. So we really are asking if something happens, and we know it does, we understand, give it some time. Give it that 24-hour rule, and then maybe if you're still really feeling like that, it just isn't settling right, then again, please email the coach. But we would like to kind of get a little organization and really start with having our athlete-coach communication. So if, your child comes to you and is like, hey, I don't know, whatever that question may be, please encourage them to reach out to their coach. The coaches are awesome and welcoming. And again, they are there every day. They are there on the field with your kids. If that's not working, then we can certainly, pull me into it, maybe have the coach, the athlete, and myself, and then so on and so forth. But please know, as a parent, you can always accompany your child, through this process. Absolutely, I know it's not easy, and we have 7th and 8th graders and on up, and sometimes it's hard. So we certainly understand that, but we're just kind of working on that communication and really working on athletes, advocating for themselves and kind of learning that process. And at any time, you can email me with questions. If I don't get back to you immediately, it's not on purpose. I do have 3 children of my own. My daughter plays field hockey at Boston University. She's a senior. I have my son Matthew's heading off to Salem State. He's a freshman. And I do have a junior that just got his permit. But it's okay. It's okay. I'm going to work through it. Just kidding. Raise the roof. I hear you. I know. And just talking about, which I know you know already, again, give it that 24-hour rule, and playing time, anything like that, really, we hope that your student athlete will address the coach. It's a great way to start. It's a learning skill. It's a life lesson. So I really, really believe strongly in that. And again, that, you know, coaches kind of make decisions out there. They're the ones that are out there. They're making those decisions with positions and playing time and things like that. And again, have your student athlete advocate. Talk to them if there's an issue. Talk to your coach. So just wanted to discuss a little bit as I'm in the athletic office. And, you know, first of all, I appreciate it. I am new, our trainer is new, and we have a new nurse. So this process has been, you know, a little challenging, and we are all learning, and I thank you so much for bearing with us. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about physicals, and if you bring a physical in during the day, it needs to go to our nurse, Idel. And if you could note on it that it's for sports, that would be really helpful. There are some times during the day where, unfortunately, you just get bogged down with maybe other things that, you know, the business aspect of the athletic department, and that maybe I don't get into the main office. But we want to make sure we're doing our due diligence to get that information to the necessary coaches to make sure our student athletes are eligible and staying out on that field. So during the day, if it could go to Nurse Idel, that would be great. Please put a sticky on it or let someone in the office know that this is a sports physical. If it's after 2 p.m., please get it to Audra, our trainer. She will be the one to clear your student athlete and keep them out there and keep them. And even on the weekends, if she's at a game, if she's there, she can do that as well. So that's another resource to go to. A couple things. The physical really needs to state that something similar to a child is cleared to participate in activities, sports, and I can't quite see it. It's under there. But it needs to have something, or camps. Sometimes they come in, and that's what we're looking for. We are not going to clear them if it doesn't state something along those lines. So moving on to another important piece is injuries. And as Audra, it happens. We don't want it to happen. We hope it doesn't happen. But a doctor's note and Audra, those are the two resources that you need to have in order to get your student athlete back on the playing field. Why do we do that? Liability, safety and health. Athletes need to pass functioning testing, and they are with your athletes the most. And when a note comes to me, I'm not a doctor. I don't really sometimes know what I am looking for. So those are the best methods of making sure that we're doing the best, safest thing for your student athletes. So giving the medical note to Audra, our athletic trainer. As Audra said, please, please, please make sure both the athletic trainer and coach are aware of an issue. And on the note, please have a return date. If you're getting a note from the doctor, please have a date that your student athlete can return to play. It's very helpful. So working on getting information out to you guys. And again, thank you so much. It is a work in progress. I am really working on the athletic website. I am working on getting those schedules in there. It is a little bit of a tedious process, but I promise I will get there. I'm working it around a little bit. I've been working with John Collins here to get some more forms on there, more informational things for example, I do a Google form for, not a Google form, but a Google Sheet for our athletic schedules. That is my most up-to-date piece. That's where I update games. That is on the website. I will get it into another place that is helpful as well, meaning under sites, I believe. Again, I'm working on John, so please bear with me. That is a work in progress. And I will be getting the varsity schedules into the MIAA. So the MIAA app is a great way to do it too. I'll be updating that, and scores will be in there as well. I do use Twitter. Some people might have seen it. I put just 1 or 2 pictures up so far. I've been using Twitter. Twitter will be a very popular thing for me, and it's at WBMSHS Athletics. And I will be trying to tweet scores. Please note, too, your coaches have Twitter accounts, too. And, again, maybe we can work on getting that up on the website so that is another resource that you can go for any updates, schedule changes. That is the quickest way to get information. Just reiterating, athletic eligibility. In order to play, we need to get you signed up in Family ID. There are many sign-offs for parents in there and your athletes that we need to have you sign off on. Physical exam must be administered within 13 months. So whatever the exam date is, go a year and add another month, and that is when it expires. Impact testing, Audra's working on. That is something we require as well. And our athletic fee. So once tryouts are complete, we will really be kind of doing our due diligence to make all of those athletic user fees are in and up to date. Please note you can always email me if you have any questions or concerns. One thing I would ask, which I found helpful for me, is if you could put your sport and the last name of the student athlete on the check. It's really helpful as we have to attach that to their registration so we know. And then as we go forward, that will follow them, and we'll have hopefully less questions. Just working on some athletic, WB athletic policies, athletic attendance. Of course, you know, athletes are required to be at practice and a game unless they are injured. You know, again, if they're injured or ill, please get a note from your doctor so we're all in the know. Notify your coach immediately. Let them know what's going on, and what's happening, so they're not at practice saying, "Oh, where's so and so." It just helps out that communication. The more communication we can have, I think the better off we'll be. If you're injured, unless a doctor says you cannot be there, of course, we would like you to still attend the practice or scrimmage, unless there are unusual circumstances. We understand that. During the day, students must be in the school by 7:45 a.m. in either to participate in a practice or a game. Transportation. We do provide transportation here. If there's a special circumstance that your student athlete can't take the bus home, please write a note, you know, and get it to us in the morning before the athletic contest at the end of the day. It can get kind of crazy and busy, so we want to try to do the best we can. In those special circumstances, we really, really, really encourage our student athletes to, you know, ride to the game and home from the game. That's part of the process of being on the athletic team. It's part of being with your team, and it's really, really important. Just to go over some MIAA rules and regulation. We have our bona fide team member rule, and that's the school team is a student who is regularly present and actively participates in all team practices and competitions. The bona fide team members are precluded from missing a high school practice or competition in order to practice or compete with an out-of-school team. Just some points of interest. You can't miss practice or competition for a non-school athletic activity. You can be suspended from future competition, but there is a waiver that you can get. So again, it's so important to communicate with your coach and let them know what's going on, because there is a waiver that you can get in order for your student athlete to continue to participate without having, you know, the suspension or missing a game or anything like that. The commitment to the team and just letting coach know. Weekend practices depends on the sport team. Definitely varsity sports, you just know that it's possible you might have a practice or a game on a Saturday. Again, communication, communication, communication. Our chemical health rule, from the earliest fall practice date to the conclusion of the academic school year or final athletic event, a student shall not, regardless of quantity, use, consume, possess, buy, sell, or give away any beverages containing alcohol, tobacco product, including e-cigarettes, vape pens, marijuana, including synthetic, steroids, or any controlled substance. This policy includes products such as NA, near beer, or inhalants. This is just something that I pulled off of, again, the athletic handbook, which, again, is on the athletic website. This just goes over your first offense, second offense, and then thereafter. And, of course, if you ever have any questions, you can always contact Principal Bodwell, Assistant Principal Page, or myself. So, in conclusion, again, I want to thank you very much. It is such an honor and privilege to be part of the WV family and community, and I am super, super, super pumped to be here tonight. And your kids are awesome. They would not be who they are without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. As we head off, we have locations to meet our fall coaches. Girls soccer's in room 219. Boys Soccer 217, Cross Country Auditorium. Field Hockey 222, Football Gym. Volleyball 222, Golf 220, and Cheerleading 218. And this is only the parents attending the meeting. Only the parents. Only parents attend the meetings. Thank you so much. Have a great night.